Cloudbusting. Told in verse, this is the touching story of an extraordinary friendship that changes two boys' lives forever. An uplifting tale that truly sings out from multi-award winning author Mallory Blackman. Chapter 1. Mr. Mackey said. Mr. Mackey said, write a poem about someone near to you, dear to you, a pet, a family member, a friend. Funny, I thought, how pets come first. That's your homework, said Mr. Mackey, and the whole class groaned, except me. But poems are hard, sir. Poems are boring. Poems are for old people. Poems are for boring old people. No one reads poetry unless their teacher makes them. No one likes poetry except poets, or those who don't have a life. And Mr. Mackey said, enough! And we all went quiet, 'cause Mr. Mackey sure can shout. Then Mr. Mackey said, hands up those who like rap music. And me and some others put our hands up. Hands up those who like pop music. And me and most others put our hands up. Hands up those who like classical music, and me and almost everyone kept our hands down, except for Oliver. Only Oliver put his hand up, but then he would. And Mr. Mackey said, rap music and pop and punk and rock have words, and the words are poetry, set to music, that's all. What about classical music? Asked Oliver, but then he would. Classical music creates poetry, in your mind and your heart and your soul. Even if there are no words being sung or spoken, it still creates poetry inside you. And we all went quiet, thinking. And the strange thing is, no one laughed. Mr. Mackey smiled. Any questions? Hands shot up. Does it have to rhyme, sir? No. How do we start, sir? With whatever comes into your head. Just let it out. Don't hold back. Don't stop yourselves. Don't censor yourselves. Let your words flow like a mountain stream, like a babbling brook, like a raging river, like a tidal wave, a tsunami. Like a cosmic wave moving between galaxies, like a, and we all groaned. 'Cause Mr. Mackey was off, like a racehorse running its own race, just running 'cause it can, running to hear its hoofs pound the ground, just running for love and pleasure. Sir, can I write about my dog, my cat, my goldfish? Yes. Sir, can I write about my computer, my skateboard, Jaws, my teddy bear? No. I put my hand up. Sir, can I write about Davy? The class went very still, very quiet. My face began to burn hot then, burn cold. Yes, Sam, you can do that, said Mr. Mackey after the longest pause. Write about Dave. What do you want to write about him for? That was Alex, talking at me, frowning at me. Davy made him nervous, uncomfortable, uneasy, because of what he did. Even though Davy isn't here anymore, he still has the power to make people uncomfortable, uneasy. To remember. I didn't answer. My ex-best friend Alex. What could I say? I want to write about Davy because Mum says you don't miss the water till the well runs dry. I want to write about Davy because when he was here, I never gave him a second thought. I want to write about Davy because now he's gone, I can't get him out of my head, and I never thought I would, but I miss him. There, I admit it. He's gone and it's his fault, the fault of the class idiot, the class bully, and I miss him. Not the class idiot. He's gone too, and I don't miss him one bit. I miss Davy. His name was Davy. David Youngson, but everyone called him Fizzy Feet. Chapter 2. What's in a name? What's in a name? Not much. That's what the class idiot said after Davy's name was changed to Fizzy Feet. It happened in assembly, the second or third morning after the long summer break, about 7 or 8 months ago. Maybe less, maybe more. It was a long time ago, but memories are longer. Davy sat in front of me. His light brown hair wasn't long enough to hide the frayed collar of his shirt. His navy blue school jumper had a small hole at the elbow. I shook my head and turned away. My mum would never let me leave home with holes at my elbows. No way. Davy was the new boy, full of uncertain smiles and anxious eyes and not much else. My best friend Alex sat next to me, on my right playing with his Game Boy, and on my left Alicia. Alicia, a name like April showers dropping gently onto spring flowers. Not that I'll leave in the bit about Alicia when I hand this poem to Mr. Mackey. No way. Mrs. Spencer, the head, was droning on and on and on. I was sleeping, with my eyes open when it happened, waking us all up. Davy jumped up, fell sideways, and started rubbing his legs, saying, Fizzy Feet, I've got fizzy feet. We didn't have a clue what he was talking about. Mr. Mackey ran over to sort him out. Dave, what's the matter? What's wrong? What's going on? Mr. Mackey was all concern. Fizzy Feet, I've got fizzy feet. Davy pulled off his shoes and rubbed his toes. What a pong! What are you talking about? Mr. Mackey began to frown. Do you mean you've got pins and needles? Ow, yes, that's what I said, sir. Fizzy feet. A moment's stunned silence. Then we all roared like we had toothache. Mr. Mackey ranted. Mr. Mackey raved. Mr. Mackey was not happy as he escorted Davy from the hall. Fizzy feet, dizzy fizzy feet, busy dizzy fizzy feet. What a dork. Davy never lived that down. The class bully wouldn't let him. What a dork. Davy hated the name Fizzy Feet, but what could he do about it? Not much, nothing. The class bully wouldn't let him. Chapter 3. Facing the Truth with Haikus. Mr. Mackey said, "Today, you lucky people, we're doing haikus." "What's one of them, sir?" "Poems to stir the senses, plus they're very short. A mere 3 lines long, just 17 syllables. Simple pimple, right? 3 lines made up of words which are 5 syllables, then 7, then 5. Haikus, Alex groaned. What a waste of time and space. I didn't think so. Japanese poems. Haikus, sighed Mr. Mackey. A pure paced rhythm. But sir, said Alex, haikus mean lots of counting. That's not fair, that's maths. Haikus are art, child, full of heart, soul and passion, so let your mind soar. To where and what for? To the stars and beyond, child, and when I land, sir? Mr. Mackey frowned, scratched his head and frowned some more. You'll have memories. Big deal, Alex scoffed, and that was the end of that. Haikus bit the dust. Haiku for Davy. We should have been friends, but the bad thing that happened to you changed my life.